It's Lillard. He got the shot off. And the Blazers win the series. Durant, the scoring champ from the top against Marion. Durant, pull-up jumper up the rim.
This is the Limitless Range Podcast. I am your host, Corey Chandler. And as always, I'm joined by our co-host, Petey Podlow. Also joined in the room as usual with our producer, Dougie Fresh. As always, you can get to our website, limitlessrangepodcast.com, or you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at @OneLimitlessRange. You can also reach us by phone, and as we've been posting about, you can get us any of your questions that you want at 360-356-1699. Hit us with your questions, and we'll make sure to answer them on the pod. What's going on, Petey Podlow? How's your week going, my man?
It's going good, bro. Just chilling.
Yeah? That's what's up. Dougie Fresh, how's it going?
It's all right. I'm moving, so I'm not chilling.
Yeah.
But it's a good move.
Moving that king size bed on your own.
Oh, my God. Don't even get me started.
Dude, I feel like moving is one of those things that's just like never fun. Like everybody. It's like the biggest thing that people dread.
Worst.
It sucks.
Dude, my brother Junior moves like every other week. It feels like I'm always the first guy he hits up. It's like
I've worked in the moving industry for 10 years now, and I have not heard one single time any person ever say, I like moving.
No.
So
it's one of those weird things, too, where I swear you get to the next spot you're moving, and for some reason, I don't know if like the doors shrink at the next spot, but it's always like, okay, wait, we got this out of the last house. How the heck are we going to get this into this place? I feel like there's always
irregular doors.
There's always a couple items that are like, bro, can't you just throw this thing away? Because we're not carrying this inside.
Bro, I know you're, bro. Growing up, man, my mom was the worst. She always would want the third story floor. I'm like, you ain't the one moving. Why do you want to be so high up? And then we gotta move it out, down the 3 stories into a new place that's 3 stories up. She's sitting there eating bonbons, watching. Yeah, move that. Hey, don't scratch that. I'm like, shut your ass.
Aren't you guys done? Because you got to get the groceries out of the car after you're done.
Yeah. Dude, one time me and my brother like literally had to move. It was like hella snow. It was snowing, bro. And I'm like, why are we moving today? And it was the hardest thing that we ever had to do, bro. My little brother Julian was a baby, so he didn't really help. He was carrying pillows. And my mom has she hoards everything, you know, like keeps everything. Yeah. And it was a mission, bro. After I was done, bro, I couldn't even pick up my arms. Oh man, it was me and my brother were dead. Ooh. So tough.
Yeah, that's the worst. So what do we got on the agenda today? We're gonna talk about Russ and the Fan, a little battle they had going on, and then pick our all NBA teams in our opinion. So what we can do, first, second, and third team?
Yeah, all 3 teams.
Sweet. And then we got anything to rant about today, or are we gonna just toss the rant out for today? I haven't thought about anything. I've had a good week, so I ain't got shit to rant about.
Yeah, I'm feeling good, man.
Life is too
Maybe
good.
Something will hit us as we're talking here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't want to rant about me moving all the time. No one wants to hear that.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
All right, well, let's jump into the player versus fan thing here. Russell Westbrook was fined $25,000 for threats to a fan at the Utah game. Fan has been banned for life. Pete, what were your initial thoughts? And then after a few days has passed, what are your thoughts on what had happened there?
Man, I mean, at first I thought Russell Westbrook was being a little just, he kind of jumps to stuff way too quick. It's like, come on, man, just chill a little bit. But after seeing the fan and then, seeing this guy had it out for Westbrook, like he hated Westbrook, like I hated Westbrook. So it's like, I know if I was at the game, I'd probably be saying some stupid shit to Westbrook too. Not anything racial, but
right.
I'd be cussing and having fun. So I just hate when people lie. I'm not a proponent of liars. I can't stand liars. And the dude kind of lied in that interview, making it seem like he was some goody good and he was nice. No, I thought we Westbrook were playing and we were buddies, and that really just turned me off because it's like, dude, bro, you're obviously a racist. People threw up your Twitter account, all your past stuff, and you're obviously someone that he was obviously a huge Trump supporter with the Make America Great post. And I don't know, man. I can't stand fake liars, and I'm going to take Westbrook's side on this, and I never take Westbrook's side. So,
yeah. Yeah,
What about
no,
you?
for sure. It was it was an interesting thing because it came out too that they interviewed people around him, right, before he had got banned forever. So obviously some people around him, were agreeing with the things that Westbrook was saying he said, or else I don't think he would have got banned for life. I think if everybody around him was like, no, he honestly didn't say anything racist. Westbrook is hearing stuff. But obviously it came out that he did, and like you said, with the Twitter account. And man, I just think that fans in general, we just need to do a better job. If you're at a game, man, you guys got to stand up for your teams. I know it's tough to say things to other people sometimes. You don't want to cause a fight yourself. But if you're a fan of Utah, this looks really bad on your organization and on your fans. Now you're looking at like, all Utah fans are racist, and this is coming out like this. If you're at a game, man, and somebody, I don't care where you're at, and somebody is chanting stuff like that, you should be doing yourself a favor and either going to get a security guard or like, dude, I'm going to go grab somebody if you don't shut up, man, because that's not what our team represents. I would be pissed if I was at a Portland game and a Portland fan that was next to me was yelling stuff like that. Yeah. It's just not what I believe in, and I know it's not what our organization believes in. I think they did a great job of banning him for life. I think that's what should happen. I think that's a great I thought their owner did a great job apologizing and taking care of it the best way she could. But on the flip side of things, I talked about this the other day with you guys a little bit. I think $25,000 fines for things for NBA players, for any sports players, for any professional is really $25,000 is nothing. We got to figure out some other things when people make some mistakes to find them more money. And I'm not saying that the fan wasn't certainly wrong, but at the same time, Westbrook did, essentially threaten a girl, right? Is that just me, or am I the only one that's feeling this way about this thing? I don't know.
It was weird.
I want to know the whole story. Did she say anything?
I don't know.
Because the guy said she didn't, but he obviously lied. Yeah. So if she's over there saying, "You suck, Edward," I'm not saying that it gives him the right to say, "I'll beat you and your girl up," but I can understand the mindset. So I just wish I knew the context of what she did. If she was just sitting there, I'm with you. Drinking, eating her popcorn, just watching the game, and he's saying, "I'm going to beat both of you up." I'm with you. Westbrook's in the wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if, did she say something like that? If you married to a racist, you're probably part racist too, right? Because I would never marry a racist.
Yeah.
So
no, for sure. We definitely don't know. I would assume she probably was saying some stuff too. I definitely would assume. But to me, I don't know, man. On my end, and it's hard, like you said, to know how you react in certain situations, and obviously that's something that's definitely going to hit home hard. Like that's something that just that's not something that just kind of boils you. That's something that's just taking it way too far. But at the same time, in my opinion, I would have been much better with it if he would have just turned around and, gone, "Hey, you and your girl need to shut the F up. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to do it. Security guard, get them out of here. I'm not going to put up with this." But dude, to me, you just don't threaten when you say, "I'm going to fuck you and your girl up." That's you saying, right? If you're out on the streets and a girl is yelling at you some stuff that hits
Nobody's
home,
gonna take your side.
You can't just roll down your window and go, "If you keep talking, I'm going to beat your ass." You just can't tell that to a woman no matter what she's saying to you. I don't care.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like some of these analysts too are like, I don't really understand at all why Westbrook even got fined. They're confused why he even got fined.
Well, so is this $25,000 fine stemming from the fact that he made the threats or the fact that he used the expletive? It seems like part of it, some of these fines is for them saying "fuck" to a fan.
I think that's probably what it is.
I think that's what it is.
I don't think it's even
the fine isn't even about him saying, "I'm going to beat up that woman."
Yeah.
I don't think the threat is it at all.
I don't know.
Even
maybe
though that should be the thing, not the expletive.
I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into
about the
obviously
expletives,
looking into it a little bit too much. I was just surprised to not hear anybody. I'm watching TNT, I'm watching ESPN, I'm watching all these halftime shows and stuff like that, and nobody was like, "Hey, I can see why Westbrook was heated, but he probably shouldn't have used that against a woman as well." He could have said "Hey, I'm going to F you up and, settle your girl down or whatever." But he did he not? He did say, "I will F you up and your girl up."
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't see that ever be.
Well,
I was surprised nobody brought that up.
I just wondered, the first time I saw it, it's is he threatening to beat up that woman, or is he just? I mean, he's just adding on and saying it like as more of a threat to that guy. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like trying to double up a thing to be even meaner, to be even more. It's like he's not actually threatening to beat that girl up.
I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't think anyone took him serious,
Yeah.
And I mean, if he had a track record of hitting women, I'm sure that would have been a big deal.
Like,
or whatever, domestic violence. But I took it as like, I would never hit a woman. I've never hit a woman in my life. But I kind of just envisioned trying to put myself in a situation, right? And I was thinking in my head, like, what if some dude and some chick were calling me, a bunch of, negative names like N-word and all that stuff. What would I say, man? And if some chick was going like that, man, I could see myself being like, yo, shut your girl up, man, before I do it for you or something, like, obviously I wouldn't even do that, but it's like, yo, put her in check, dog. Like, you guys are disrespecting me. That ain't cool, man. So I don't know if maybe people are viewing it like that, but I mean, I see where you're coming from too. Like, you're making good points because
just don't even cross that line.
Don't even cross the line. Don't even play with it. It's playing with fire. And honestly, it's a good point. Now, it is surprising that there's no women activists because usually, I mean, let's be real here, bro. Usually, any little thing that involves a woman, it's like, get him. Like,
you get some
practically
corner
over.
Of the internet, is immediately going to stand up. But you haven't seen
it is shocking that no one said anything. Maybe they all view it like the way that Doug does. That he was just
and
just
right off the
jerk.
bat. I mean, at least online, everyone said the same thing though. They just didn't want to talk about that part of it. It's like, well, we're all against violence against women. Oh, here, of course. Wow, how brilliant, and then it just gets pushed out of the way and not talked about.
I think. Just the kind of last thing to touch on with this, I think the thing that scares me a little bit, and it's so tough because, like I said, fans got to do a better job of putting each other in check so the players don't have to do it, right?
Yeah, I like that
KD's
point
had
a
some,
lot.
KD's had some altercation with some fans and stuff like that, and dude, fans are in the wrong in a lot of these times, but of course the players are magnified. They're the people we're talking about. ESPN isn't blowing up fans and their names and all this stuff. I mean, obviously this guy's getting a lot more than most people, but at the same time, and it's tough. Like Pete said, I don't know how I would react in these situations, but as a player, you are a professional. You are getting paid to be a professional, and I know at times it's hard, but you got to think about how many fans are watching, especially our youth, the kids that are looking up to you, that are buying the things that you represent, that want your jersey, that are looking for you to hand them your shoes after the game, right? Westbrook's one of those guys that's like handed out the shoes, and he does a great job like after the game of like getting kids involved. A lot of kids love Westbrook. So Westbrook's got to at some point do a better job, and I'm not just saying this time, but just in general, of saying this isn't the way you react when people talk to you. Because what you're saying to other people is, especially kids, it's saying, hey, if somebody's talking smack to you, you can act any way you want. And at some point, he's got to be just a little bit more professional because there's a lot of kids watching it, man. And there's a lot of kids that are watching ESPN, and there's a lot of kids that are like, Westbrook told that guy what's up, and you got to be very careful with that.
And bro, I can't stand Westbrook, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just be real about this whole situation. Like, some kid taps somebody, turns around ready to punch. It's like, bro, come on, it's a little kid. Like, he's got his fist clenched. It's like, dog, chill out, homie. Like, bro, you're a millionaire. You've averaged a triple-double for 3 years. You're really not even that great of a player, in my opinion. Like, you're so overrated. People love you, bro, because of your stupid attitude. And maybe he's just trying to keep that persona up. But it's like, man, you're so blessed, dog. And then like you just act like your life was so rough. And it's like out to get everybody, just crying all the time, bro. I can't stand it. Yeah. The only reason why I'm even having Westbrook's side on this is because he was dealing with a racist.
Yeah. For sure.
That's like the only thing that trumps someone like Westbrook. Because I don't know, man. Russell he needs to chill out. And you want to talk about sensitive, bro? He's the most sensitive player in the NBA, in my opinion, bro. Right?
He says he doesn't listen to his critics.
Yeah, like Dan made a good point, right?
Yeah.
When he talked about, I don't listen to my critics, but he's talking about shutting down Rubio after people were talking about him getting grilled by Rubio, a guy who's not even known for scoring.
He's the guy that's talking smack to fans the most. Like anything anybody
fans,
says, whether it's racist or not, he's
everyone.
the guy that's listening to every critic.
Yeah.
So
I guarantee you that someone like KD is dealing with way worse, cupcake and all that stuff. You got to be way harder than what Westbrook's dealing with. You know, it's like, come on, man. You're so sensitive. Like, I don't know, man.
For sure.
Well, bottom line, that fan sucked. We all hate him, but
it's ridiculous.
Like you said, Corey, we gotta keep ourselves in check too.
Yeah, the fans got to be better at the end of the day. Like,
it's not like anyone's gonna go on a podcast and say, you know what, I'm kind of on this guy's side.
No,
no. So we're not breaking ground. Except I like that point. You know, fans really need to police themselves.
You got to take care of each other, just
better.
like the teammate has to take care of his own teammate and help.
He's
kind of handle the situation.
Team.
Represent the team. You're representing the fans, and you got to.
Yeah.
Someone should have stepped up.
Yeah.
So
good point.
Yes, sir.
If you're looking for a great deal on authentic NBA jerseys and apparel, you've got to use the NBA Store. Limitless Range has partnered with the NBA Store to get you big discounts on real NBA gear, including up to 60% off all clearance items when you visit limitlessrangepodcast.com/store. Don't search the internet all day for cheap knockoffs or used jerseys. Get real, authentic apparel at really great prices and support Limitless Range while you're doing it. Visit limitlessrangepodcast.com/store today and get everything you need to rep your favorite team. limitlessrangepodcast.com/store. Okay, so it's time to figure out who you guys have picked for your All-NBA teams. And we're going to start off with first team All-NBA, best players in the league, according to you guys. And I'm going to start off with Pete here. What are the two guards that you picked, first team All-NBA?
Well, I mean, you got to go James Harden.
Okay.
MVP candidate, so top 3 player this year, basically. Sure. I can't leave him off the list. And Steph Curry.
Right.
Yeah, I went with Steph Curry. I got a feeling my boy here has a different guard. There's some bias coming here. But
who do you got, Corey? Guards, first team All-NBA.
Pete trying to act like he knows me. I went with the same. James Harden, as he said. MVP candidate, balling, 36 points a game. That's crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Got to have him.
Seems like that's the easiest pick probably out of all of these teams.
Second,
the top 2 guards.
Pete does know me.
I knew it, dude. I knew it.
Or is it?
Dame Dollar. Damian Lillard from the Portland Trailblazers.
Okay.
I knew that was coming.
This is the quick reason. To me, like I've said many times this year, most people didn't even pick these guys to be in the playoffs, and look where they're at. So to me, how are you not going to pay off a dude? You pick Steph Curry to win the championship. They pick Steph Curry to win the West. They've done this. They've done that. You all didn't even pick Damian Lillard to make the playoffs, and look where he's at. So y'all shut up and put him on your first team. Not you, people. I'm just saying everybody else.
Gotcha.
I'm okay with you going with Steph, but everybody else should have Damian Lillard as the first team.
Honestly, it is closer than people think, in my opinion.
Sure.
I still,
you look at their stats. I mean, obviously Steph Curry's efficiency. His field goal's way better. Their free throws are pretty close. But you look at it, really, it's really close points. Steph's got him in threes. Dame's got him in assists. Really close in steals. So if you look at their stats side by side, it's actually really close. Other than Steph's field goal is much better than Dame's. So.
No, that's a good point. But if we're going off your theory of no one picking them, then we should have the Clippers as all first team, right? I mean, everybody had them as lottery team before the year.
Expectations,
big time.
No, that's not the only reason he's picking it.
No, I know. I'm joking, obviously.
But all right, so we've already got some differences here. We'll move to forwards. We'll start with you, Corey.
Okay.
Who do you got as your 2 forwards, first team All-NBA?
Man, I got the other 2 MVP candidates. This one was a tough one, man. There's a couple dudes that I feel like could have also been put in here. But, the season that Paul George is having, we've talked about him, the last few podcasts. He's an MVP candidate right there with Harden. And then the guy that I have right now, and I'm pretty sure Pete has him right now too, is Giannis, man. You got to go with the Greek Freak as the other power forward, in my opinion. But I kind of got a feeling that Pete might have a biased answer for his forward as well, but we'll find out.
Well, yeah, I got Giannis. That's obvious, Probably going to win the MVP. He's been the most consistent player. Win shares, leads the league. So, yeah, that makes sense. And Corey,
You've
You're
got
wrong.
Corey in your first team all NBA?
I'm
No,
wrong.
I wanted to put KD there, but I try to not think with my heart here, and
Nice.
let the fans, hear the
keeping it real.
No, I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing.
That's cute.
No, it's definitely close between KD and Paul George, but with Paul George kind of falling off, I feel like if KD wasn't hurt and played the last few games, I could have put him above, but he's missing time, so it's like realistically he's not. Paul George was barely beating him, in my opinion, and KD can't gain no ground if he's out, so it's like even though Paul George's numbers have been kind of ugly lately, I'm going to give him the edge, the defense, two-way, he's just balling out and playing with Russell Westbrook. We always got to give somebody credit for that.
Yep.
Speaking of exceeding expectations, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
none of us were predicting
that's
that
a
at the
great
beginning
point.
of the year. First team All NBA. But, who do you have for your center, Pete?
I got my boy Joker. You can make arguments for other people, but the thing is Joker hasn't missed any games except that one suspension.
Wow, yeah.
So it's like he's been consistent. He's got I think they're still the 2 seed, right? Mm-hmm. I know the Rockets are climbing, but he's still, he's the 2 seed. He's been consistently playing every game, showing out, coming through. So, I mean, you can make arguments with some other centers for stats. I thought about Embiid, but he just missed too much time for me to really give him the edge over Joker,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement, man. The same reasons. I picked Jokic as well. The second in the West is, we're talking about with people exceeding expectations. Some people had, them more as like an 8 seed, and I think myself 7 or 8 seed to start the year. And they're the 2 seed, and they're right behind Golden State. They held the 1 seed for some time, and I'm with you. The same thing with Embiid. He's had some injuries, and then to me, it's like you look at what Jokic is helping them do in the West versus Philly's not even the 2 seed in the East. So,
True.
Good point.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I got Jokic as well there.
All right, so we've got Corey has
The only
Harden?
difference is Dame.
Oh.
The only difference is Dame and Steph.
Yeah,
Yep.
Harden, Dame, Paul George, Giannis, Jokic.
Yep.
And then you've got Curry, Harden.
Paul George,
Yeah.
Greek.
And then the rest is the same.
Yep.
So
Jokic, yeah.
after this first round, Pete is the
Winning?
correct one.
Okay, Doug.
No, it's getting interesting already. Okay, let's go to the second team. Might have a few more different ones. So, who do you got for your 2 guards on second team All NBA, Corey?
The guy that Pete had in his first team.
Yeah, okay.
I went with Steph there. It was really close. Steph's obviously legit. He's averaging I think it's like north of 5 threes a game, right? Which is just insanity. And
That's crazy, man.
it's unbelievable. It's just the tough part for Warriors players, including Kevin Durant and stuff like that, is like that team is just so good. It's like we almost forget how. I mean, if Steph was in Portland and Dame was in Golden State, it would probably be Steph, in my opinion. Or if Steph was on his own team, Steph would probably climb to that every year. So it's just tough for those Warriors players. But the kid's still a stud. And then, I went a little bit of surprise here, but he's impressed me for the fact that he's exceeded expectations in a few things. I went with Westbrook here. I feel like I picked OKC earlier as being pretenders. Pete went with them as contenders, and I was wrong. Man, this team is in contention. Westbrook has done a little bit better of a job of allowing Paul George to do his things, which I didn't think was possible ever for Westbrook to do in his life. Third time averaging a triple-double. So I went with Westbrook there.
That's what's up.
Who you got, Pete?
Oh, well, I mean, I got Dame.
Yep.
Dame
Okay.
Dollar.
Oh, there we go.
My boy's,
Okay. Yeah.
my boy Corey's favorite player. He's a beast, dude. I love Damian Lillard. He's clutch. He's been balling out. I can understand why he put him first. So it's not even like it's a huge bias thing because Lillard's been clutch. You got game-winning shots. He hit that game-winning shot against Golden State in the corner.
Yeah.
That was a big-time 3. So he just does it all, man, and he's the leader, and he puts the team on his back, takes all the responsibility. Yeah, doesn't have the help that Steph has, but
For sure.
it's so hard to mess with Steph's efficiency because it's like we might not ever see anything like that.
crazy.
Someone shooting that
Unbelievable.
3-point percentage with that volume,
Yeah.
And then my second guy, I couldn't go with Westbrook because. Corey said it the other day on the pod, dude. It's not like he's the reason why we're picking them. It's Paul George.
Yeah.
I got to go with Bradley Beal. Even though his team sucks, it's been a mess, a headache. He lost John Wall.
I like that.
He's balled out, dude, and I love what I see from him, man. Like he's going out there, he doesn't miss games. He goes out there, he puts it on the line. He plays with his, he's just trying to make that team look decent. So his numbers are just awesome, and I feel like he's really gonna elevate in the next couple of years. He's gonna be the face of that franchise. They got to get him re-signed and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Especially recently. I mean, he's just been a baller. That's for sure. Trying to make that team look decent is quite a task, it seems like to me.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, they got like nobody.
It's terrible.
So, Pete, who do you have for your 2 forwards? Second team All-NBA.
Of course, my boy Durant. Durantula, honestly, you can make a case for him for first team, just balled out. It's like there's so much hate on him that people don't even pay attention to him really much anymore. So he's a beast, and I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year if you really went number for number, and he's gonna beat Paul George in my opinion, stat wise. And Durant's best player in the world right now, so I had to put him there. And then I got Kawhi Leonard.
Okay,
he's balled out. He takes nights off. That sucks, but his team's balling out. He's a beast. He's come back and shown how strong he can be defensively and offensively. He also has hit a couple game-winning shots. I think he hit one against your team, right?
Yeah, he did.
So he's got some of the clutch ability there, and that's who I went with.
Okay.
What do you got, Corey?
I went with the exact same thing. I went with Kevin Durant, and I went with Kawhi. As we've talked about lately, I have Kevin Durant as the best player in the world right now as well. But as I share with the Warriors players, it's just it's tough for those guys, to get some of this recognition. But I still have to have him here. And then with Kawhi, I don't know, it was tough. I was like between him and another guy. And it's like, because he does take so much time off. And the tough part is like, we're giving him credit for what they're doing in Toronto. But then you're like, God, when he sits, they're still incredible. So it's almost like, what is the reason that this team is winning? But like you said, man, he's hit some game-winning shots this year. He's a stud defensively, just a great two-way player. He keeps getting better and better offensively too. So had to have him there.
All right. Well, who's your center then?
As we talked about, the other guy that I feel like is in there with Jokic was Embiid. The guy is a beast, and he's missing some time, which is tough. Here and there, keeps picking up a little bit of injuries here lately, but I'm just excited to see what this dude's going to do in the playoffs. I got a feeling he might be able to carry this team, but then I also have a feeling he might not. So it's going to be interesting to see like which one. It could go either way. I feel like, I don't know, are these guys going to be busts, or are they really going to be like, damn, this is the team and get all the way? I don't know.
I feel the same way.
It's so weird.
Everyone's hating on Boston, but it's going to be so funny when they come out the East.
Yeah,
or something like that. But yeah, I got Embiid too, man. He's a monster, and he was an MVP candidate for most of the year. It's really hard to not put him in there. He's missed some games, but his stats are just so amazing, and he's been a beast. And have you guys seen his commercial? That new commercial, that Hulu commercial? It's pretty funny. That always makes me laugh. The little kid, Mr. Embiid.
Dude,
him and it's so hilarious.
I need to look into this more. Him and Dame got this Hulu sports thing going on. Do you see Dame got it tatted on his arm?
What?
Dang.
Do you see that?
I hope he doesn't lose that endorsement.
Well, I don't know. I haven't even seen the actual tattoo, but all these commercials, the same thing. They have him getting it like written on, tatted and stuff, and then they have the
joke,
guy.
Right?
I think so, but it's like,
I thought you were serious for a second. I was like, what?
No, but they have it like written out, but then they keep asking it like the contracts and stuff. They're like, on the commercial stuff, like, Dame, why are you getting it tatted on your arm or whatever? And the same thing, he's like money, and then he's like flying money all over the place. And that's pretty funny,
man. I like those commercials.
Hulu's doing a good job, man. Those are hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, second team All-NBA. Once again, you guys matched up on the forwards and center, right? But the guards, Corey had Westbrook and Steph.
Yep.
Pete had Dame and Beal. So let's see if things get a little different here, or if we're just kind of slightly switched around. Yeah, third team All-NBA. Pete, who do you have for your 2 guards?
You know what, man? I have a hard time giving a lot of love to, the East. very rare, but I figured I'd save the third team for most of my East players. I got Kyrie and Kemba, a couple of East guards that I feel like, I feel bad for Kemba, man. Like, we can all agree that dude, like, has no help. Yeah. And he's out there just trying to ball out. He's had a really good season. Kyrie is, a dope player. His numbers are awesome. People have been, they talk trash about, they're better without him and all this. But if you really look at his numbers, he's had an amazing season, arguably his best year of his career. And so I got Kyrie there.
Nice.
What do you got, Pete? Or Corey?
You're good.
I got Kyrie as well. I like the dude, man, and obviously I picked Boston to get out of the East, and I still got a feeling that he's going to help pull that off. I criticized him a little bit. He struggled a little bit with like the media and how to kind of lead a team, and he's like trying to figure out how to do that. And this is, I feel like, the first time he's really been challenged in that leadership role, and it seems like lately, whatever it is, they've kind of turned a switch. So I don't know if it's like Kyrie kind of starting to own up to some things, and winning is fun and stuff. So now you see Kyrie smiling more, and the whole team's having fun. And I think Terry Rozier even said it. When Kyrie's playing well and he's having fun, we have fun. So I think if Kyrie can continue to do some of those things and really just like enjoy, just be Uncle Drew, man, just enjoy playing basketball, right. And his handles are ridiculous, then I think they're going to go a long way. And then I have Bradley Beal, who you had in your second team. I'm with you. I think, he's had it's tough. They lost, obviously, John Wall, and they, bicker back and forth. The locker room's crazy, burn the whole team down. The owner wants to trade all these guys, and he's kind of stuck through for them. They traded Otto Porter, and he's kind of stuck through with basically like having nobody on his team, and the kid still, balls out. So the kid's a beast. I don't personally think he's going to be able to stay in Washington. I think, I would rather have Beal than John Wall, especially with the contract differences, but I just don't think they can have both of them. Yeah. They can't seem to get along, and they got John Wall signed for 97 years in a wheelchair, so it's like unfortunate that they did that, but it'll be interesting to see because, man, that dude can really help out some teams if he goes somewhere else.
Well, who do you have for your forwards, Corey?
I got my favorite player in the league, LeBron James.
Third team LeBron.
Yeah. It's a tough one, man. We obviously Pete and I both criticize this dude all the time, but his stats are still nice. Obviously he's a stat stuffer, we kind of knock him on that, but the dude is still a stud. I can't take that away from the things he does on the basketball court are unbelievably ridiculous. But the reason I have him that low is just for the fact that we've given him so much credit in the East for being so good and carrying teams and doing this stuff. And this is a lot of the reason why he had 13 straight all NBA first teams is because he was in the East. And now you look at what he can't do with not having other guys on his roster. So I had to drop him to at least the third team here.
Yeah.
And then I tossed in Blake Griffin.
Good.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, I tossed in Blake Griffin. Detroit, I feel like he's been playing well lately. I think, Pete, you brought him up last week, right? They were like 8-2 in their last 10 at that point. Yeah. And I think he's a big reason for that. So that's where I went.
I like it. And, I think we got the same thing going, man. I went Blake Griffin. He's balling out. He's carried that team, and he's honestly reinvented himself.
Right.
It's been kind of fun to watch. going from just a dunker to like a guy who kind of handles the ball, creates, passes.
Blake.
Yeah, he's hitting threes, doing some moves, and I'm happy for him, man, because I've never really been a huge fan of his game, and I like that he put the work in to reinvent himself, and I always respect someone that puts the time in and changes their game to adapt or whatever,
For sure.
I got Blake, and then I just like with Corey, the guy that's balled out in LA for a minute. The stats were there in LA, and he's just been clutch. I went with Tobias Harris. I mean, the real guy, the real dude that balled out in LA. All right, that actually had his team in the playoffs. Okay,
yeah.
And they trade him, and he's still balling out in Philly. With Embiid hurt, he was arguably their best player for a stretch. Shit. Right? Was he not? He was putting up crazy numbers with Embiid hurt. So, I mean...
Damn.
Why not go Harris?
I was confused there for a second. I was looking at him is this guy like really giving LeBron this much love? I'm like, did Pete take some edibles this morning or what's going on?
You guys know damn well.
As soon as you said clutch, I was like, what? What, the sports agency?
That's good. But yeah, I went with Harris. I mean, he's just balling out, dude. He's hit a bunch of game winners actually. Yeah. So buzzer beaters too. And you know, the numbers, he's got dope numbers, and he's been on 2 playoff teams, which is double LeBron. So, that's all I gotta say, man, about that.
I like that. I like Tobias a lot.
Well, how about, so then we've got, I wonder if you guys are going to be the same then for your centers. What if, what if you...
I think we are.
Okay, I'll count to 3 and you say them at the same time.
All right.
All right? 1, 2, 3.
Towns.
Okay, that's what I thought. Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
Why do you think so, Corey? Why do you have Towns?
I mean, he's on my fantasy team, and he's been balling out lately. No, man, I think because I criticized him early. You know, Dan wrote a great article on our website, which if you haven't read it, make sure you go to limitlessrangepodcast.com and read that thing. But he, you know, where's the love for Towns? And I feel like, as Pete brought up after his accident, the dude's just been balling, man. And if you really look at the Timberwolves roster, like, people are criticizing him for not making the playoffs. It's like, is the Timberwolves roster better than the Lakers roster? So, like, how are you going to give LeBron a pass for having no help, but then you're going to criticize Towns? You know what I mean? So it's like, and the dude's had injuries left and right, because you could be like, oh, well, he's got Teague, you know, Rose has been helping him out, but it's like both of those guys have been injured. Yeah. They make a trade, they get Covington gets injured. It's like, really, this dude doesn't have that much help. So he's right there. He's ahead of the Lakers in the standings as it is, and he's putting up crazy numbers. And lately, you know, Pete and I talked about this the other day when he played against Jokic. It was like, damn, man, he had that freaking snatch back where Jokic almost fell on his ass, and then he hit the jumper, just did like the crossed out his neck, like, this kid can't cover me. I'm like, whoa, like, when did Towns get some bite? So I had to go with Towns there.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me the same question, I would give you the same answer, because he's on Corey's fantasy team. He's right now. So, I got to see these stat lines every time I look, and I'm like, ah! But yeah, Towns is a beast. I really think, I'm telling you guys, man, that car accident, I think he had an epiphany, man, like, because he's been a different player.
Yeah.
I mean, that and Dan's article, he read that too, you know?
Oh, yeah. He told us it was really good.
Right?
Yeah.
No, but seriously, man, I really think, because, dude, I've always thought he had this potential, like, to do what he's doing right now. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when he said he had a near-death experience. Right. That can change the way you do things. Like, if I almost died, you know, maybe I'm going to come in here and give you guys the best damn podcast you ever had. Damn, Pete, you really studied up this week. You know, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, it's just different when you almost die. Yeah. You know, it's like, so I feel like he's been balling out, and I think the correlation is that car accident. I think we might see this leak into the offseason, and we might finally get the Towns that we've kind of been expecting. Yeah. You know, with his talent wise.
I love what he said the other day. I mean, obviously, once again, it helps my fantasy team, but the other day when he was questionable, right? Didn't he had like a knee, something going on with, you know, he was a little injured, and he's like, no, I'm playing.
Yeah, you're filled with a lot of those guys, bro.
It's like, stop it.
questionable, and they all played. You got nothing but Warriors, man. Yeah. Jesus.
Well, that's the guys I like to add. Yeah. No, but just the way he said it to a reporter, it's like what I've been talking about. It's the opposite of what some of these dudes have been doing. And he's like, no, I'm playing. Like, this is what we get paid to do. I'm a Warrior, and I want to play through this kind of stuff, and this is what we're meant to do. This is what we're meant to play basketball. And I was like, damn, I called Towns soft, and this is like the dude that I like. This is the stuff I want to see. I don't want to see dudes taking out off time every time they get a little nick.
Yeah.
So he's the opposite of that other guy on your fantasy team,
Kawhi. Oh my god! But I think with Kawhi, it's a little bit more. It's like the organization that's doing it. I think it's obviously part him, but it's more the organization. Where Towns is like, man, screw y'all, I'm playing. And I like that.
See, I'm starting to really think that we had the right idea with Towns on something. I don't think it was soft. I think soft was the wrong word to use. It was more, I feel like Towns had more of the Shaq approach. Like, you ever hear Shaq talk? You know, he never worked in the offseason. He didn't really care, but he was the most dominant player. Nobody would ever consider him soft. You know what I mean? He was a freak. He relied mostly on his talent. And I feel like Towns, to an extent, I don't know what he does in the offseason. I don't know what he works on. His game is dope. But I feel like he had more of that approach where it's like, you know what I'm saying?
At
like
least maybe game plan wise or something like that.
Yeah, like even Paul George came out and said, oh, you want to know one of the big reasons why my game is elevated is because I changed my diet. He's like, he just said this. I used to be a huge snacker. I read this thing that he said where he was eating sweets and stuff, and now he doesn't. Those little things can help you be even better, you know? And I feel like maybe Towns, you know, with the car accident is saying like, man, you know what? I'm going to give it my all, you know? And we might be seeing the.
I think the biggest thing is, like you've always said, it's more of he wasn't reaching the potential that we knew he could get to.
Yeah,
like we both knew he was. Yeah, we both knew he was a stud, but it was like we knew he could be up here at the 10 level, and even though at 8.8 he still is a freak, we know that's not his peak. Like some of these players in 8.8 is their peak, and we're like, damn, this dude's playing really well at that 8.8. But it's like we knew he could get to that 10, and that's where he's been playing right now.
Yeah, for some reason, I mean, it's just always been this undercurrent of people thinking that his stats are somewhat hollow, you know? And for some reason now, it feels like there's a lot more heart in it. I don't know. Even if he was putting up the same stats, people are starting to look at him differently, just the way he's playing or something like that. So
it's got a bite to him lately.
You guys watch that? You guys watch TNT like when Charles and Shaq
best show on TV.
Oh yeah, I love it, man. But they were arguing basically because Shaq had that interview with Kobe, and he was basically saying like, "Man, I wish I had. You know, if I would have had your work ethic, we would have never lost."
Yeah.
So I mean, that's. Basically, I feel like Towns is basically like a Shaq. He's a dominant freak, but he had that Shaq work ethic.
He's
maybe not as bad. Unfocused, yeah. And, it's not a bad thing because, it's not like I'm over here busting my ass every day to, be the best me. So I can't really judge him, But I'm just saying, like, when you see players and their ceiling is here and they're not there, it's like, man, you just wonder, like, wow, what if he did really put that work in? Right. What if he did change his diet? Yeah. What if he did go, do extra, all the time? And you're just curious.
We're over here snacking, but we're like, yo, these dudes need to stop snacking. Yeah, like Paul George said, hey, pass that licorice over here, Dougie Fresh.
Right.
He ate them all.
For real.
No, for sure. It's tough.
Well, it's tough. As long as he's not as bad as Shaq was with that, though. He had that famous line, I get hurt on company time, I rehab on company time.
Right.
He wasn't going to do shit. So, we're going to get to the end of the show here, and our final segment, Pete's buzzer beater. I just wonder, Pete, do you have just a spontaneous question to throw out? See what Corey's going to say.
This is really off the top of the dome.
It has to be.
That's how I roll, man. So let me think. I'm curious. I want to know what your guys' opinion is on Zion in the NBA. I want to hear from you, Doug, and you, Corey. What type of player you think he's going to be? Is he going to live up to the hype, or you got him more of as like just a middle tier player, an okay player? Yeah, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Let's see if we can predict this. So, what do you give him? We'll start with you.
I think, unfortunately, like so many other cases, it really will depend a lot on the team he goes on. There's some guys that are top lottery guys that it's like that just the way that they use their talents or what they're good at makes them excel or fail in the NBA, no matter what situation they go into. And then some where you think back, man, what if they hadn't been on the Kings or something like that? Or they get traded. It's like, oh, yeah, they had crappy player development or they're in a bad position. I think it could really matter. I mean, everyone talking about him going to New York or something. I mean, New York will be in the lottery running for that first pick. I mean, if they swing and miss and he's shouldering a huge load in the NBA. Corey and I were watching the UNC Duke game the other night. Mm-hmm. Zion was an absolute fucking monster. He was amazing and just so athletic. But there's certain times where, I mean, he'd poke the ball out, go in transition, flush it himself. Where, I mean, first thought was, that was amazing. And then second thought was, I mean, the other guys aren't going to be that slow when he's in the NBA. Literally everyone's going to be way faster. The game's going to be faster. I think I think odds are he's going to go into a good situation and he's going to be a huge beast when it comes down to it. I think he's going to be really amazing his rookie year. But I think it could really matter where he goes. If it's the wrong spot, then that's all they're going to talk about, how he's not living up to the hype. I don't think he's going to be bad either way, but he could be in a spot where he's not living up to it.
Sounds like you're playing both sides here.
Well, no, I mean,
I'm playing.
I think when it comes down to it, no, I think he's going to be fantastic his first year right out of the gate. But I think there's going to be a lot of potential that could be squandered right off the bat if he's on the wrong team.
Yeah. No, I think Doug makes great points. I do think situation definitely, matters. The coach, the style that they play, is it going to benefit Zion? Is he going to get mixed in with a star? Is Zion going to end up in New York and he ends up with Kyrie and KD and those types of things? Because I feel like if you can end up with some dudes that really can help your growth, I feel like obviously the organization's a big thing, but I also do think it's like the players you end up with. You hear some of these guys, like even Trae Young gives props to like Vince Carter and things like that, where you're like, you don't even really think of Vince Carter leading the team anymore, but it's the things that Vince went through, and it's the things that like KD and Kyrie and some of these guys have gone through. So I think it is going to matter for sure. So I do agree with Doug on that. I do think he's going to be a freak though. I feel like his game, he's got the size and his ability is something we haven't seen. I mean, I don't know, like people try to compare him, I guess, to like LeBron in a sense, like that he doesn't have the speed that LeBron has, but it's like that size with the athletic ability is like something. I can't remember the last time we've seen a dude like this, in my opinion. I mean, is there somebody else you guys can compare him to besides like kind of LeBron, like sense of athleticism combined with that freak of a size? I mean, I don't think we've seen anything like that.
That's what I said the other night when we were watching him. I said, gosh, everyone compares him to LeBron coming in because of the size and the athletic ability and all that. He looks like a tight end. I said, but I don't think we were really looking at LeBron like that out of high school. He doesn't look like LeBron at that age. He looks like 2013 Miami Heat LeBron.
Yeah, that's a great a great point. It'll be interesting because I know he's only shooting like 31% from three. But then, like the games that I get to catch of him, it's like I feel like he can knock down 3-point shots. We were watching the UNC game, and I feel like I think he knocked down a couple, and it was like then the night before he shot 13 for 13, and I think a couple of those were threes, and I'm like, God damn, like this dude is efficient. It's not like he's going out there hucking up a bunch of shots, and he's like 13 for 27, and there's a couple threes. It's like this dude hits the shots when he needs to, gets the basket when he needs to. He's a freak defensively. So I think like you touched on with Towns and Shaq and this stuff, like that's a big thing too. It's like, what is this kid's work ethic going to be? Mm-hmm. That's a massive thing. What do you think, Pete?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a beast. I think he's going to be a top player in the league. Maybe not his rookie season. He'll be dope, but he's definitely going to hit it, I think. I think he's got the hunger. It looks like he's got the drive. The only thing I will say is his years of dominance won't be as long as others because he's so reliant on his athleticism.
Yeah.
There's going to be a point where he's going to have to reinvent himself like Blake Griffin. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
There's going to come a time if he comes in, if I was him, I would do it right out the gate. Start working on it. Start trying to be like a Blake, do all those little things. I honestly would watch Blake Griffin. I feel like that's a good comparison, even though he's a way better defender, and that's where I think he separates and becomes elite. Yeah, is because I think you're gonna, he can easily give you the 20 and 10, mm-hmm. which we could be like, oh, that's good, but it's that's along par with Tobias Harris, and like. But here's the thing, I think he's gonna give you elite first team defense, mm-hmm. and when you compare that with the offensive numbers, now we're talking like dope player, you know what I mean? The rebounding, the steals, the blocks, plus the offense. And a lot of people don't think about defense when we think about these players. It's always offense. What's this offense going to develop? Is this, but it's like no one's really taking into consideration that this guy is dominating defensively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's all over, bro. How many shots in that game you guys watched? Because I watched the game too. Did he alter where it looked like the dude had open shot and he came flying in and the guy had to put a little more arc on it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it became a miss. But it would have easily been in
No,
Zion didn't come flying in.
Point.
They all look scared of him on the
Yeah.
court. Everyone's just avoiding him when they're on offense.
So
you know?
I definitely think Zion's gonna be a stud. I'm gonna go one more real quick around, just a one quick answer. 3 years from now, is he top 10? Prediction. Do you think?
No.
Will he be top 10 player in 3 years?
Yeah.
I say yeah too.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
It'll be towards the lower end, I think.
All right, I'm putting this in my Google Calendar. I'm gonna see.
Put it in. We
No,
predict a
it's
lot of right
interesting.
things on
I just
this
think
podcast.
there's a
so
lot of talent in the
It's true.
NBA, but I would love for him to be top 10.
I just think
Let's see.
I think the combination of defense and offense is exactly because dude. Even like Paul George's numbers, if you go comp them with other offensive players, Bradley Bills and everybody, they're on par with each other. The thing where Paul George separates and became an MVP candidate is because of his defensive prowess.
Mm-hmm.
So if Zion comes in and is doing stuff like that, right out the gate, he's going to make himself, a much better player just because of defense alone.
I think one thing that's going to be, it is going to be interesting, and obviously the knee injury brings this, up, but can he stay healthy? I mean, we were watching the other game at the other night at the bar, Dougie and I, and it's like he did a couple things that all of a sudden he's like grabbing his back, it's like, dude, and I forget exactly what it was that DZ brought up, but like the whole impact thing, he's like one of those guys that's like so athletic, but you put that much weight on an athletic dude and the impact he's having coming down on some of these big ass blocks and some of these massive dunks. That's a lot. I mean, the dude blew through a shoe. So this dude's impact on his body, it is going to be scary, and he's a freak. So it's like he's going to be constantly jumping it, blocking it, dunking it. He's going to be constantly landing on those legs. So it'll be interesting. I hope he stays healthy, man. I would love to see what this kid can do. I hate when, we don't see somebody's potential because of something like that. So
they do talk about, guy looking like a tight end or a football player on the basketball court, and it's like, well, there's a reason that in football they play one game a week.
All right, let's be real.
Right.
That's a lot of stuff.
Imagine him playing like middle linebacker for your Niners.
oh my god,
Could you imagine someone throwing the ball, he's jumping 45 inches and swatting it?
right?
You know,
Get it out of here.
Seriously, dude. I couldn't have.
Yeah.
And his instincts, because we can all agree, he has explosive instincts. How many times does he get to that ball? It's thrown. There was one pass where it was like the dude threw it. He led him in that game in North Carolina. He sprinted and swatted it away. He was so
nowhere.
far away.
Yeah.
Imagine that as a linebacker, bro. The ground he would make up. He could cover receivers. He could cover all positions and still tackle because he's big and strong.
Now I want him replacing KJ Wright.
I was about to say, let me hit up Jed York and see if we can get him down there.
Serious. Honestly, if I was Zion, I would think about being a two-way player. Why not? I wonder if he did play some football. He had to have, right? You would think, being that big and strong.
Probably when he's younger, for sure.
Yeah.
So NFL doesn't guarantee their contracts. Screw that. I ain't putting. He's gonna put his
Right.
body
Much more
on the line
money
for
in
that.
much more money in the NBA.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up, huh, Corey?
Yeah, man. Another great podcast with you guys.
Yeah, good work.
As
fellas.
always, just get at us, man. We got some really cool stuff coming up that we'll continue sharing with you guys. We're working on some ideas about some other giveaways and things, which is always fun. We love the trivia stuff because we were hearing from you guys, and it feels like lately we haven't been hearing quite as much from the same people, and we know they're listening because I talk to them and they know what the podcast is, but they don't feel a reason to write us on Twitter because we don't have those trivia questions. We want your guys' opinions, and we want you guys to raise these questions, as we talk about with the Fan and Westbrook, we're talking about with the all NBA teams. Write us and let us know. Are we crazy? Yeah. Damian Lillard first team? You're ridiculous. This is why, and I'm cool with it. I'll sit down and listen to your opinions as well. And that's what we're looking for, man, because at the end of the day, the three of us only have a certain amount of years of watching basketball, and as much as we love to watch it, you combine the whole world of fandom out there, and there's so much more knowledge to be learned, and we want to hear from these people. So, Limitless Range on Instagram and Twitter, limitlessrangepodcast.com, or ask your questions and hit us up by phone. That's a super cool thing that people have been utilizing, 360-356-1699. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Pete, hope your fantasy team continues to break down, and I take you down. Rip City.